Hey there friends, and welcome back to the second episode of my Magiclysm gameplay series for CDDA. So we're going to go for some real build-up today. Not really of a base or anything, but of my character. Because right now, my life is pretty crappy. I might have a minor wand of fireball on me that's sure pretty powerful and all, but what I'm lacking, well, I only got a day pack on me. I don't know if that's enough. I'm also lacking real weapons, and that's something I plan to change. So, first things first, let's check out the gear that we can pick up there. And maybe I'll be super lucky and get some antiseptics in there. I get some bandages there. This is also really good. So... calcium tablets. Well, surely not bad, but surely also not too useful. But here's extra rags. Rags don't need much space in your inventory, and they are basically raw bandages. Okay, so no antiseptics. That's sad. Let's loot the rest. A hockey stick. Yes, by all means. This solves a lot of my problems. A hockey stick might be not the best weapon for medieval swordsmanship, but that whole medieval swordsmanship thing has to wait until I find a wooden saw, so I can craft myself my first wooden sword. Until then, I'll have to be happy with what I got. So, we got the Uzi in the backpack now, I guess? Yes, so that's okay for me. Let's check out what the other things have in store for us. A vibrator, yes, for those lonely moments in your life, but not here, not yet. Not now. We don't have the necessary inventory capacity for these. Right now, jokes aside, I really need to be careful with what I'm carrying around. If you are on the run, keep your carrying to the bare minimum, because it'll all slow you down and such. So, butchering knife. Butchering and cutting quality. I'll pick up one of those. Remember last episode? I was so unhappy. Here, paring knife has fine cutting, because I didn't find any cutting tools. So, the freezer here is empty. So this is only a temporary lookout. So, my options here are a little bit difficult. North of me is the slime pit, which will, I assume, just spit out slimes that keep multiplying themselves, and ultimately I have that slight feeling as if I will get encroached by slimes from the northern side. Also, Reigate is a very, very small and cute little town, ideal to punch through, loot stuff, but there's also a Migo scout tower in the vicinity, and I don't want to wrestle with the aliens. They're extremely deadly. One of these dudes getting close to me, I guess I'd last two turns, and that's me being optimistic. So, down there is a wind turbine. I've never been playing around with these, so I'll give it a go. Mainly because I hope that I can use this as a lookout of some sort. Zombie dog spotted, okay. This one just spawned randomly right next to me, so this is what can just happen. So, first thing I did, dropping my day pack, because this thing encumbers me, and I want as little encumberment as possible. And now let's just start whacking that thing. Alright, I got off so effing lucky. I hit that thing right away twice. I mean, I did pick some hobby background for melee. But, well, zombie dogs are the worst. Sign, you died for us, we'll live for you. Okay. Zombie dogs are the worst because they are fast. You can't really easily outrun them or anything like that. So you always have to take care of them one way or another. So here the light industry has zombies in it, so I'll stay clear of that. A Owlbear. Gosh. A zombified owlbear. Let's just stay away from that. Magiclysm has brought some serious trouble into the monster roster. I like it. I like to see zombified fantasy monsters here. It's really a lot of fun. So, okay. We can't get up there without a lockpick, honestly. Well, I don't own any lockpick, and I don't see me crafting some in the next time, but there's another Kraken. Hi, dude. How are you? Thanks for the loot. So, sports drink and meth. Well, I'll stay with the sports drink, dude. Thanks for the offer, though. And cocaine. Man, all those insane drug-addicted joggers of the apocalypse. I bet those Kraken are just the spirits of those psychos not finding any rest. Well, whatever that might be, I'm quite happy about getting spoon-fed little pieces of loot like that. Because some sports drink and some water on me, this stuff will bring me over 1 or 2 days, even if I don't find any real long-term place to stay. So yeah, here. Small power substation, also infested with Zeds. Damn. Okay, well, options. Go over this way, go past Rygate, cross fields with Amigo Scout Tower, or just try to get past this jolly old township and check out what these roads lead towards too. I've made my decision already. I mean, the good news is I am now at the point where I can at least take down single enemies quite easily. The hockey stick is not a bad weapon. It's just not a very durable weapon. It'll break rather quickly. A dump site. I don't feel like this is good news. So let's stay very, very careful around there. I want to reach that farmhouse there. Usually farmhouses are either really bad news because they're infested with zombies, and since I heard a bark, I'll rather back off. Remember me saying zombie dogs are the worst? I meant it. Wasps. Alright, so wasps are just monsters, okay? Stay away from them. Problem about wasps is they're extremely territorial. Once you get close to them, they show you what that means. Alright, East Bridgewater. Let's get over there, and there is Amigo at the entrance of the town. Beautiful. Let's mark that. Okay. Just for future. Just for the future. Okay. So there's, again, nothing to achieve here in the vicinity except for a quick death. So let's keep running here. So there's yet another town and yet another Amigo Scout Tower. These guys are extremely proactive this time. I usually don't have that many of these around my starting point, but what can you do? So what do we have here? A semi-truck. No wheels. But a pack of cigarettes. I know the feeling, but no. So here's another piece of road. And here's another city. What I'm looking for is a small lookout or something like an evac shelter. Something easy to conquer, not too far away from a city. I mean, a mine is too much. I'm looking for something like a small motel or anything like that. So there's Amigo around there, chasing a Kraken. Wonder if these guys are lore-wise somehow connected to each other. Anywho, I don't really want to find out. So, there we go. Let's encroach around a zombified Ultica. I don't really want to know what kind of sick joke this is supposed to be, and we're steering clear of that, because, you know, safety first. This sounds disgusting. But that's not the first time that I think this about something in this game. So, here we have an LMOE shelter. So this could be either the first piece of really good news in the game, or it could be a death trap. We'll find out in a second, so let's first have a peek. Okay. Luckily my dude has night vision, so let's see, do I have... Can I use that smartphone? Calories intake tracker. Use camera. Turn on flashlight. Okay. Quite often these LMOE shelters are really just what you're looking for to get kick-started. But sometimes they contain, well, the people that were there before. Not quite dead yet. But dead enough to be an issue for you. So... I even had a layout once that looked safe at the beginning, but then you had noises at night. Because there was a hidden compartment in that thing. Where you had to move a shelf by somewhere. It's crazy. It's been quite crazy, but this one looks like we got off just flat out lucky. After all these problems... This is not a problem. This is a solution to problems. A tool belt! This is the natural upgrade for the leather belt. So this is basically almost as good as belts can go. Wonderful. So we have a water pump here. And some cooking stuff. The only thing I dislike about underground shelters is that it's damn hard to keep... to keep crafting and such things possible because you don't have any light. But beyond that, it's usually really cool. Crowbar. Oh, a real flashlight. Let's switch over to the good stuff. Alright. So, adjustable wrench. Denatured alcohol, sandpaper. But what's really good about this place is I can sleep here for the time being without being worried to have my face eaten off by something that just enters randomly my base. This is just quite resilient. Okay, nice. So, not my favorite spot, because usually I prefer to go upstairs and not downstairs, but I'd say let's do something out of that. There's the Migo encampment there, but that only means that I have to be really careful with parts of South Burlington. But before I enter the city at whatsoever, I mean, there's been a sling pack inside the shelter too. Ooh, black rats. I'm going to explore the rest of the environment a little bit more thoroughly. It's never bad to know your environment well. Oh, boys, there's a golem. Wild golem around. I'm still a little bit confused about the stuff showing up here with this mod. So, it's very amusing, though. So there's another light industry, but I also see that there's a lot of forest there. This means there will be not too much room for evading Zeds when they show up. So I'd rather be careful with that. So there's another mine at the end of this road. Okay. So let's see. Zombie technician spotted. Okay. Well, I mean, we gotta start somewhere with clearing, and a power substation ain't the worst spot to start at. Light industry, I mean, this comes together quite nicely here. At the light industry, you almost always find the necessary tools to get your run started for real. I mean, welding stuff and such. And therefore, it's quite appealing. So let's go through this. Oh, there's a radio tower. Alright. Well, let's see if I can climb that. This would be brilliant, but oh boys, there's a wasp. This is already pretty much bad news on its own. Sometimes wasps infest radio towers. Nah. This is just too hard to see whether it's going to be deadly or not. Let's make a note here so that my future me doesn't blunder into that accidentally. There's another goblin encampment, and there's a big city. Cool. So, oh, I'm very hungry. Let's have some meat jerky. Because I might have found a lot of cool things, but I didn't find any real good source for food or anything like that. So there is a farmhouse and a vineyard, but also a corpse dump. Bad luck, man, bad luck. Oh, another rural house. Okay. So rural houses are usually very low on supplies because most of the people don't stay there for a longer period of time. Alright, Insta salad. Yeah, whatever. Some coffee maker, hell yeah. The coffee maker is along those things that I'm always eager to pick up, even if it is quite some weight, because the coffee maker enables you to clean water. It does require medium batteries, the small ones won't work, that's the downside of this thing, but that's seriously the only downside. Okay. So there's another light industry complex, a dairy farm, research facility, alright. Orc village, just your regular old neighborhood. Okay, well. Shooting range. Possibly some spot to find ammo at. So, well, let's head back to this direction, shall we? I think the power substation and the light industry seem to be quite good semi-golds for now. I think the light industry is a little bit more than I want to tackle, but I want to also know where this road leads us. I'm pretty sure this road here will just lead deeper into the city, and usually when you get closer to the city, well, most of the time you don't find anything you wouldn't expect from getting closer to the city. Giant ladybug! Abort mission! Abort mission! These things are just flying helicopters of death and doom. They are just fast, heavily armored, high damage monstrosities of the Cataclysm. I find it extremely fun in a way. Ooh, demon spiderlings. That they are among the most deadly things that I've encountered so far. But at the same time, I only find it quite fitting. So, I'm attracting a couple of Zeds right now, but it's quite easy to lose them due to my fleet-footedness. Of course, this car is bad news too. So, I don't dare to go close to this wood. Oh. And let's drop a note for future me. So, well, I don't really see the rewards of going deeper this way, except for trying to raid Castleton. But that's going to be a job for me with a lot of heavier guns. Because you need some serious resilience. And one thing that I haven't emphasized a lot yet is the fact that My character has only 50% of the HP a normal character would have. So that means armor and the like are extremely important for my character. Staying away from the enemy, killing stuff from afar, is extremely desirable for my character because I got issues. So... oh dear. So it really seems like this is as good as it gets so far. Although I'm unwilling to accept my fate like that. So there's still no location where I feel like I want to dig in and fortify myself. Hole up, not dig in. Because I just don't feel as if this is too good. I'm very, very unhappy with the Migo encampment in the vicinity there. Because these guys are just freaking scary. And beyond that, well, this looks like a pretty decent spot, yes. But here's a motel. This looks, for starters, a lot better. Alright, a motel. I like a motel. Although motels are filled with a lot of enemies, being two-story means that I'm gonna be able to be one level above. I value this a lot, to be upstairs somewhere, because it gives you a lot of immunity of from roaming enemies. So I'm dropping my backpack here before I consider going into any fight, because that is just the way how you can avoid most damage. And avoiding damage is the name of the game here. So we're facing two Zeds at once. It's really very unpreferable, but what can I do? Got my hockey stick, so that's important. So early game, I totally love to play the terrain game. As you see here, this shrub here has movement cost of 400. Whenever a zombie moves into one of these while you're standing next to it, it's a free whack. The long grass works similarly, just not as good. Whenever they step into long grass, usually I just give them one whack, not two. Here, tall grass, 250, probably 2 whacks, depends on your weapon. You can see how quick your weapon strikes when you examine it with the base moves per attack. It shows you roughly how much time you will take per swing. And this way, I keep the zombies unable to attack me. And if you are vulnerable like my dude is, this is absolutely vital to stay alive, because every punch I get is extremely problematic. And another problem that I got right now is I ain't got any antiseptics. Antiseptics are usually found in the cities, and that's quite easy to loot them there. But without them, you are prone to zombie infections. Well, luckily they don't turn you into zombies in this game, but you still get a pretty lethal infection, and if you don't take care of that, preferably in the next couple of hours, you will suffer hard. CDDA makes you suffer extremely hard from any disease. So, my first struggle with Decayed Zombie went really super bad, and I was extremely lucky here that nothing worse happened. Decayed Zombies have the highest chance of getting you infected when they bite you. Isn't it lovely? So, but there's also good news. There's the first car. Zombie dogs are usually extremely lethal, but with a car, you can use this to your advantage. The entire frame of the car has movement cost 400, and this way you can use the car to eliminate the amount of whacks the dog can take against you quite entirely most of the time, and this works with pretty much all the Zeds, and that's why I love to fight around car wrecks in general. The larger they are, the better. And the bonus there is, the more the zombies whack the car, the more steel scraps for farming you will find there. Just don't overdo it when you've taken 2 or 3 swings on the tile. Rather reset, reposition yourself. Depends on your situation, of course. Right now, I'm super cautious. I don't want to get hit at all. And therefore, I really try to play it as clean as possible. So here, lure the Z into the car. Sometimes you need to convince them a bit to come around the corner. But once you get a feel for the AI there, it's getting easier and easier. So this guy is grabbing me. It's always a difficult decision. So here I was too greedy, as you see. Shouldn't have done that. Like I said, resetting instead of getting greedy. Luckily, there's no infection happening so far. Just waiting. So now we're just going to take the reset after 2 swings. Really need to pay some attention to that. Sometimes you get lucky and the zombie gets stuck again in the car. Sometimes you don't. Alright, there we go. So... But motels are spots that I like to clear, mostly because you always get a car of the local road network out of these. It's pretty much kind of a guaranteed loot. And if it's a 2-story motel like this one, it also comes as kind of a free refuge. It's not high quality because it doesn't come with much gear or such, but it is safe, you know. That's what counts. So there's a tough zombie. It's going to be our first real enemy. There we go. Keep running. The problem with the tough zombies is they are faster than their brethren, and therefore you need to play more of the dimensions of the car there. And here, for example, I found it less dangerous to keep whacking instead of risking him getting close to me again. Again, the tough zombies are faster, and therefore everything which is faster is to be played around very carefully. Speed is one of the most lethal stats an enemy can have. Always think about the Wasp. It has a very low base damage, but it is extremely fast, and it can kill you super easy, because in this game, the more often you get hit, the more pain you suffer. The more pain you suffer, the slower you get. And if your enemy is already faster than you, this turns into a big problem. So that's the rough metrics of why speed is so much of a problem when the enemy has it on you. And that's why I went for fleet-footed, and that's also a reason why I try to avoid as much damage as possible. And also pay attention, my hockey stick is already breaking. Like I mentioned before, the hockey stick is not exactly the most durable weapon. And here we got a little bit of a more dangerous situation. So there's the fat zombie closing on in. Another rule of the thumb, never be with 2 zombies adjacent to you. Never. It's just a rule, it's just a recipe for a disaster. Once they grab you, your evasion rate lowers substantially, and they get an insane bonus on hitting you. So the moment 2 zombies grab you, you're basically a free hit. And I explained already where the whole thing with the pain will lead us at some point. So, yeah. We getting it, though. Herbal tea. Ha! I've been thirsty anyway, so let's have a little break there. So there's a crawling zombie. Crawling zombies in their base form are really harmless all in all. Oh, a matchbook. It's later when they evolve into nasties, where you're going to be worried about them. So there's lots of zombies upstairs here, so we triggered them. Let's deal with them. So the first things first, the dogs. Dogs are faster than you, but the good news about dogs, they are easier killed than any of the zombies. Oh dang, that's too greedy. They are hard to hit, but as long as your character has a little bit of a melee skill, it's actually quite easy to get them down. So let's keep the clown car strategy running. Commence clown car protocol. So here we go. Usually I would be a little bit less cautious here, but with this character being frail and all, I'm really rather overcautious than anything else. But I'd say this is also a good end for this episode. We got the hotel for us soon. Oh, I'm bleeding still, so let's drop the hockey stick and put some pressure on the bleeding wounded. Bleeding is never good. Rule of thumb, if you're bleeding enough to leave a puddle, you're already bleeding too much. And you should really do something about that. Because if you don't, you'll lose stats quite heavily. Being anemic in this game is really pretty nasty, and blood loss takes a couple of days to get rid of it. If it's heavy blood loss, so don't take it too lightly. Especially if enemies can put you to bleed more often than only once. Not so much the issue with zombies, but there's other enemies that do this. So I'll just wrap up the rest of the zombies here in the motel. And then we're going to roll the end of this episode. Sometimes you get lucky and the zombie doesn't leave the shrubs at all. I don't know what this is. This is just random movement from them. And I'm quite grateful for that. So the upper stairs of these motels, you really got to be cautious and clear out the entire thing there. Let's be a little bit more greedy than usual. Because basically every room can contain a threat. But now we got it, and I'd say the motel is ours, and I'll leave it with that for today. So thank you so much for watching. It's been my pleasure. Let's see where we'll end up next time. I can only say it's a very exciting roller coaster so far. Usually I get a refuge quicker together at this point of the game. I'm usually already settled in somewhere. This time it's a lot harder, but I appreciate challenges, and we got our first motel cleared, so let's see where we get next time. Drop me your comments down below, leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and of course consider subscribing. There's more where that came from coming up, and there's already hundreds of videos to watch on my channel, and I'd love to see you guys there as well. So have a good one, and see you soon. Bye-bye.